If you don't get out quick, I'll kill you all.
Have you ever heard of that one upperclassman that everyone fears? A walking, talking rumor that you never want to run into in the hallway. And then there's Kurose, a kind-hearted first-year health committee member who's too shy to stand up for himself. But his high school life is about to take a very, very strange turn. Because he's about to have a run-in with his school's most terrifying legend, Haimiya-Senpai. She's intimidating, she's scary, and she glares at everybody. But here's the secret. For some reason, she's only kind to him. From patching up a scraped hand with a cute bandage, to sharing after-school cleaning duties, and constant, hilarious misunderstandings, Kurose is caught in a whirlwind of confusion. Is she the scary delinquent everyone says she is? Or is she the sweet, caring girl that only he gets to see? She's a mystery wrapped in a terrifying reputation, and he's the only one who might be able to solve it. What's the secret behind the scariest girl in school? Find out in this hilarious and heartwarming story. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get straight into the video. In the halls of a certain high school, there was a senior named Haimiya who was feared by the entire student body. Meanwhile, a first-year student named Kurose, known for his timid personality, found himself burdened with the infirmary cleaning duty yet again, left behind by his classmates. As other students teased him for being too reliable and unable to refuse, Kurose silently wished he had the courage to stand up for himself. Just as he was feeling down, a curtain in the infirmary was suddenly pulled aside. From the bed emerged the rumored Haimiya-Senpai, her expression dark and menacing. She coldly told the noisy students that they had been bothering her and threatened to kill them all if they didn't leave immediately. True to the rumor, she was incredibly scary. The terrified students scrambled out of the room, shouting apologies as they fled. Kurose, who occasionally interacted with Haimiya due to his health committee duties, was frozen with fear. He knew she often skipped class to rest in the infirmary. But then something unexpected happened. Haimiya's frightening expression melted away into a gentle smile as she turned to him. "Oh, it's Kurose-kun," she said kindly, asking if he was being forced to clean by himself again. The sudden switch from terrifying to kind was too much for Kurose. Overwhelmed and flustered, he couldn't process the situation and collapsed in confusion. The following morning, Kurose couldn't stop thinking about Haimiya's gentle side. He began to wonder if maybe everyone had misunderstood her and she wasn't a scary person after all. His hope was short-lived, however, as he witnessed her confronting a group of students blocking the path. With a harsh glare, she told them they were in her way and to not take up the whole space. Seeing her super scary side again, Kurose immediately took back his hopeful thoughts. But once again, the moment Haimiya noticed Kurose, her entire demeanor changed. A bright, friendly smile spread across her face as she called out his name and asked if he wanted to walk to school with her. As they stood together, they became the center of attention, with everyone staring at the unlikely pair. Utterly bewildered, Kurose finally gathered his courage and asked, "Haimiya-senpai, why are you so kind to me?" Leaning in close with a playful look, she softly asked, "What do you think?" This made Kurose's heart pound and his mind race with the possibility that she might have romantic feelings for him. However, Haimiya then straightened up with a cheerful smile and revealed the simple reason. "Look, you always do the infirmary cleaning, right?" Before Kurose could fully react to this unexpected answer, she pointed out that the school bell was about to ring. As they started walking to school together, Kurose was left with a strange mix of feelings, a victory for getting to walk with the senpai, but also a sense of confusion about the whole situation. Kurose is walking with Haimiya-senpai when he gets distracted and bumps into some other students. One of them yells, "Hey, wait, you okay?" as Kurose stumbles. The students who ran into him quickly say, sorry, we're in a hurry," and trying to leave. Haimiya steps in front of Kurose, her expression turning fierce. She glares at the student and says, "You bumped into him yourself. Apologize properly." Her scary aura is undeniable. The students are immediately intimidated. One asks Kurose, "Sorry, you okay?" While the others add, "We're very sorry, and I'll be more careful from now on," before hurrying away. With the other students gone, Haimiya's scary face is replaced by one of concern. She turns to Kurose and asks, "You okay? Not hurt or anything?" Kurose laughs nervously. Sorry for making you worry." Haimiya then notices his hand. The scraped side is bleeding a little," she observes. There's a park over there. Let's wash our hands." At the park, after Kurose washes his scraped hand, Haimiya tells him, "I have bandages. Sit here for a sec." She finds one and says, "Found it." As she leans in to put the bandage on his hand, she remarks, "Ooh, that looks kind of painful."
Kurose gets extremely flustered, thinking, because her face is so close and her hand feels soft. After she finishes, Haimiya says, "Yeah, this should be okay." She then notices his dazed expression and asks, "What's wrong? still hurts. Kurose snaps out of it, waving his hands. No, I'm fine. He then looks down at his hand and thinks, the bandage is cute. It has a small, cute pattern on it. Because of the delay, they arrive at school 15 minutes late. A teacher stops them at the gate saying, got used to the new semester and let your guard down? Kurose stammers, sorry, there's a reason for this. But the teacher cuts him off with, no excuses needed. As the teacher continues to lecture, Haimiya glares at him and says sarcastically, sorry, the glare was a bit bright. I didn't quite catch what you said. This provokes the teacher, who shouts, if you're going to take that attitude with the teacher, both of you stay after for cleaning. Kurose tries to take the blame, telling her, Senpai is sorry, it's my fault we were late. But Haimiya just tells him, no need to worry. She then turns with a gentle, beautiful smile and says, well, going to school with Kurose-kun was fun, so it's even. Kurose is stunned and blushes, realizing that, as expected, Haimiya-Senpai is scary and cute. Their after-school cleaning duty is pool maintenance. Kurose thinks to himself, somehow I feel sorry, but he's also secretly thrilled, exclaiming internally, getting stuck with after-school cleaning is the best. He starts to worry, though. Senpai, she said going to school together was fun, but, right, Senpai was late because of me. Just then, Haimiya calls out to him, hey, Kurose-kun. He nervously replies, yes? She smiles warmly and says, somehow this kind of thing might not be so bad. Overjoyed, Kurose blurts out, I'm having fun too. He's relieved that she isn't mad. Kurose gets his hopes up, thinking, Haimiya-Senpai really isn't scary at all, but actually super kind. Today it's just us two for pool cleaning. Maybe we can get to talk a lot, and maybe even get closer. Just then, his hopes are crushed as a large group of boys arrives. One of them says, man, cleaning really sucks. Another adds, since we're here, let's play around. Kurose thinks in despair, God, so many people came. He is disappointed that his chance to be alone with Haimiya is gone. As the other boys start splashing around in the pool, he tells her that it looks like other people came to clean too. As the group of rowdy boys arrives at the pool, Haimiya crouches down with a dark, brooding expression. Kurose misunderstands her mood and thinks to himself, wait, she's definitely mad? He decides it's certain now. Haimiya-Senpai doesn't like people at all. Trying to be considerate, he approaches her and says, you okay? Let's ignore them and clean by ourselves. Haimiya looks up at him and quietly says, that's not it. Kurose's attack back. That's not it? What do you mean, that's not? He asks, his mind racing. Or Senpai feels the same as me and wanted to be alone together? I mean, he stammers, blushing furiously. Before Haimiya can answer, one of the boys playing around accidentally splashed a huge wave of water all over her. The boy who did it freezes and says, shit. Soaked from head to toe, Haimiya's face becomes terrifyingly dark. She says in a low, threatening voice, okay, you guys, I'm gonna kill you all. The boys immediately panic and shout, we are very sorry! Watching this, Kurose can only think, why was she looking angry then? Haimiya-Senpai is scary after all. The terrified boys cleaned their part of the pool lightning speed and then quickly went home, leaving Haimiya and Kurose alone again.
Haimiya sighs in frustration. This is just the worst. She pulls out her phone and takes a selfie, complaining, my clothes and hair are completely soaked. This can make a legit emotional distress compensation case. After a moment, she puts her phone away and ties up her hair. Well, nothing we can do now, she says, her mood shifting. All right, switch gears. Let's clean. As she stands up, Kurose accidentally notices that her wet gym shirt has become see-through. He panics, thinking, see-through? No, I don't know where to look. If she notices that I saw, I'm dead. In a fluster, he quickly zips up his own jersey and steps toward her. Senpai, if you want, please wear my jersey, he offers, holding it out. Haimiya looks at him confused. Eh? Why? Then, following his gaze, she seems to understand. Ah, I see, she says. She takes the jersey with a warm smile. Thanks for being considerate. That's cool of you. She puts it on and says, all right, let's finish quickly. Kurose breathes a sigh of relief, thinking, at least we're good for now. Finally alone and able to clean in peace, Haimiya asks him, Kurose-kun, can you grab the bucket real quick? As Kurose walks to get it, he remembers their conversation from before the interruption. He thinks about her saying, "That's not it." Curious, he walks back and asks directly, "Haimiya-Senpai, what were you trying to say before the water splashed on you?" Haimiya turns to him with a slight smile, holding the cleaning pole. "Still a secret," she replies mysteriously. She then tells him, "Hurry and finish." Disappointed, Kurose whines, "Huh? No way, tell me!" But she just continues cleaning. After they finish, with some playful water splashing, Kurose thinks about how much fun he had. Cleaning with Haimiya-Senpai was super fun, he thinks happily. Since the changing rooms are locked, he decides, let's use the infirmary. However, when he opens the door, he is shocked to see Haimiya already inside, in the middle of changing her shirt. "Hey," he yelps internally, freezing on the spot. He quickly slams the door shut and stammers, "Sorry." Suddenly, a dark, spooky silhouette with glowing eyes appears in the doorway, and he lets out a terrified scream. The scary figure turns out to be Haimiya, who leans in close behind the terrified Kurose and whispers with a sweet but threatening smile, "Kurose-kun, if you don't forget what you just saw right now, you know what happens, right?" Panicked, Kurose runs for his life, yelling, "I'll forget it right now!" though the chances of him actually forgetting are 0. The next day, Kurose is still reeling from the previous day's events. He thinks, "I can't forget what happened yesterday. I rushed home after that incident, and I don't know what face to make when I see Haimiya-Senpai." Just then, he spots her in the hallway. It's Haimiya-Senpai, as in intimidatingly Carrie as ever. She's wearing a hoodie, and Kurose tries to psych himself up. "Do your best, Kurose. It's fine. It's just a greeting. We're passing by each other, so maybe I should at least say something." As they walk past each other, Kurose musters up his courage and calls out, "Senpai, good after..." But Haimiya walks straight past him without a word. Kurose is left standing there in shock, thinking, "Huh?" He's completely devastated. She ignored me," he thinks in a panic. "Oh, she really is mad about yesterday. This is the worst." He feels all the progress they had made was for nothing, sadly thinking, "I thought we might have gotten closer." Later in class, Kurose sits alone feeling dejected. "Somehow I must have been misunderstood," he thinks to himself. "After all, I'm just a health committee member, and I have no real connection to Haimiya-Senpai. The reason why that infamous scary senpai is nice to me is kind of vague too."
He comes to a decision. But no matter what Senpai thinks of me, I need to properly apologize for making her uncomfortable. He heads to the infirmary, thinking, if things go like usual, Senpai should be in the nurse's office. He opens the door and sees her sitting on a couch. "She's here," he thinks, and nervously calls out, "Senpai?" Haimiya looks up, takes off her hood, and reveals she's wearing glasses. She says before smiling. "Oh, Kurose-kun, cleaning again today?" Kurose is stunned by her friendly greeting. "Huh?" he manages to say. "Huh, what's wrong?" she asks. Kurose nervously asks her, "Senpai, about yesterday, aren't you mad?" "Huh? Why?" He explains, "Because today in the hallway I called out to you, but you didn't respond." Haimiya smiles sheepishly. "Sorry, I forgot my contacts today, so I couldn't see much," she explains, pointing to her glasses. "And I had earphones in, so I probably didn't notice. Sorry for worrying you." Kurose is speechless, overwhelmed with relief. Tears well up in his eyes as he cries out, I'm glad." Haimiya chuckles softly. "About yesterday, it was an accident, so it's not your fault, Kurose-kun. But if you don't forget it, I'll kill you." Kurose, happy that things are back to normal, confesses, "I was worried the whole time that maybe you'd started to hate me just when we'd finally gotten closer." Haimiya leans in with a teasing smile. You hated that idea that much? Kurose-kun, you..." Kurose becomes incredibly flustered. That's not it. That's..." Later, while walking, Kurose overhears other students talking about messaging each other. He pulls out his own phone and looks at his chat list, which only contains his mom, coupons, and family chat group. "I knew it. There's no one to exchange Rhine messages with me," he thinks sadly. "I still haven't made any friends since starting high school." The idea of asking Haimiya for her contact information then pops into his head, and he is immediately overwhelmed. And asking for Senpai's contact info, that's...
As Kurose walks, he contemplates the daunting task of asking for Hamiya's contact information. He wonders, but I wonder what kind of Rhine user Haimiya-Senpai is. He imagines her reacting with concern, asking, "Huh? Kurose-kun, you want my contact info?" He worries about the possibility of being ignored, thinking, it wouldn't be strange if it ended up like this. His mind fills with images of her giving him the cold shoulder, leaving his messages with a read but no reply, or having a simple black icon for a profile picture. He concludes, it's totally possible for Haimiya-Senpai, and lets out a confused, huh? Just then, he's startled by someone walking beside him. It's Kurose-kun. Haimiya-Senpai, good morning, before turning to him with a smile. Morning, want to go together? She asks. As they walk to school together, Kurose is internally in turmoil. Why is it always when I'm thinking about Senpai, he thinks. Meanwhile, Haimiya is relaxed, showing him something funny on her phone and saying, look at this, I laughed so hard. Kurose tries to build up his courage, reasoning with himself, but after the changing incident yesterday, I realized that Senpai doesn't hate me or anything, and just as an acquaintance, asking for contact info is normal, right? He nervously tries to speak up. Before he can ask, Haimiya beats him to the punch, casually holding out her phone. Oh, right, want to exchange Ryan? She asks. Kurose is so stunned he can't reply immediately. Seeing his hesitation, her expression darkens and she asks menacingly, you don't wanna?
Panicked, Kurose quickly reassures her. Huh? No, that's not it. It's not that. Haimiya then explains her reasoning. Like that time we cleaned the pool before? You rushed off, Kurose-kun, and I couldn't contact you. She then looks at him with a genuine smile and adds, and also, we're friends, so of course we'd exchange line, right? Hearing the word friends makes Kurose's heart soar. Friends, he thinks to himself. He happily agrees. That's right, friends, I'm happy. They tap their phones together to exchange info. Heh? Thanks, Haimiya says. Kurose stares at his phone screen, completely flustered. I've exchanged contact info with Senpai, he thinks. Haimiya peeks at his screen and giggles. Kurose-kun, you don't have an icon set. Here you go. He looks down and sees the contact she added. Her name is displayed as Mio. Kurose is overjoyed. Senpai's first name. It's Mio-san, huh? This is the first time I've heard it, he thinks with a huge smile. Somehow I'm really happy. Suddenly, Haimiya becomes incredibly flustered, turning away and covering her blushing face. Kurose is confused. Senpai, what's wrong? He asks. She quickly dismisses him, saying, nothing, and then gives him a shove. Hurry up and let's go. Kurose cries out, how? Why? As she pushes him to walk faster. While walking down the school hallway, Kurose overhears some other students talking. One of them asks, hey, you know that second-year Haimiya, right? And the other replies, yeah. Kurose realizes they're talking about Haimiya-Senpai. The first student continues, apparently a friend of mine saw her smoking, lol. Kurose is shocked to hear this. The students keep gossiping, with one saying, for real? That's bad, right? And the other adding, but if it's her, maybe possible, lol. Kurose can only think in disbelief. Senpai smoking? Worried, Kurose decides he has to find out for himself. He thinks, no. No matter how scary Haimiya-Senpai is, it's hard to imagine her turning into a delinquent. But still, I'm worried. He goes to the infirmary and he asks the nurse, Aya-sensei, has Haimiya-Senpai come by today? The nurse replies, oh, Kurose-kun, Mio-chan is in the courtyard. Kurose thanks her. Thank you, I'll go check real quick. As he walks, he tries to reassure himself, she can't really be smoking, right? Well, it's probably just a baseless rumor. When he gets to the courtyard, he sees Haimiya from a distance with something that looks exactly like a cigarette in her mouth. As he gets closer, he sees her holding a box that resembles a cigarette pack. He thinks in shock, oh, she's smoking, even biting it. Haimiya notices him approaching. Huh, she says, then greets him. It's Kurose-kun. She holds the box out to him and asks, want some? Kurose is completely confused. Huh? He looks closer at the box and realizes, this isn't a cigarette, it's Ramui candy? He breathes a huge sigh of relief, thinking, phew, it was a misunderstanding. Haimiya explains, yeah, the kind that looks similar. It's kind of crunchy. I'm hooked. As Kurose sits down next to her, he thinks, but anyone who doesn't know her would definitely believe she's smoking. Haimiya nods in agreement. Ah, I see. Well, this is easy to misunderstand. Kurose then explains why he came looking for her. Actually, today, I overheard a rumor that Senpai was smoking.
Haimiya seems unbothered by this, replying, I tend to get all sorts of rumors, true or not. I just let people say what they want, don't really care. Kurose is relieved to hear this and tells her, Then I'm glad. I was worried until I saw you, senpai. I was thinking, what if you really were smoking? Haimiya gets a mischievous glint in her eye. She leans toward him, holding the candy cigarette between her fingers, and asks with a smirk, If I said I really was smoking, what would you have done? Kurose gets flustered and stammers, Senpai, you're really not, right? Haimiya bursts out laughing. Haha, it's a joke, lol.
While sitting with Haimiya in the courtyard, Kurose notices her looking at the koi in the pond. He asks her, Senpai, you often feed the koi in the courtyard, huh? Do you like koi? Haimiya rests her chin on her hand and replies, Not really like. More like, what are these guys thinking? Or, I wonder what these guys taste like. Or something like that. Her comment is so unexpected that a nearby koi fish jumps in shock. Kurose is terrified, thinking, whoa, scary. The situation becomes very awkward as they sit in silence. Kurose then decides he needs to be helpful. He thinks, no, this is where I have to be useful to senpai. He quickly pulls out his phone and searches for information. Oh, I see, he says to himself. He then turns to Haimiya with newfound excitement and announces, Senpai, if you properly remove the fishy smell, koi have bouncy white flesh and are apparently delicious. They say people eat them in miso soup or simmered dishes. Haimiya is completely stunned into silence. Sorry, that was just a joke, she says, looking horrified. Now I kinda don't want to know. As expected, my jokes don't land with Kurose-kun. Kansai people's jokes are difficult, while Haimiya worries that he might actually eat anything. Later, at home, Kurose is startled when his older sister Sora barges into his room. He yells. She asks, what is it, Nei-chan? Sora teases him, you were way too astonished. Were you watching a dirty video or something? No. Hey, you're free this Sunday, right? Well, you're free anyway, right? A friend of hers bailed on a movie, and she explains, so the ticket would go to waste, you should go. The youngest sister, Umi, has club activities, so she can't go. Kurose asks, by the way, what movie is it? Sora reveals it's a, really hardcore horror film. She then suggests, you're in high school now, you must have some friends, right? I have 2 tickets, so invite someone and go. The word friends makes Kurose think. He looks at his phone's contact list, which only has his family and Haimiya-Senpai. He immediately panics. No, there's no way. Seriously? Because we're not close enough to go out and hang out yet, and inviting someone to hang out, that's... He hilariously imagines the scary horror movie poster next to Haimiya's intimidating face, and somehow concludes, it's fine. He decides to start a conversation by sending her a message. She does think of me as a friend, he thinks, and starts typing. Suddenly, a message from her pops up. Kurose-kun, Aya-sensei said there's a committee meeting next week. The message is marked as instantly read. Kurose screams internally. He thinks the timing is hellish. Haimiya immediately messages back, what? Read so fast, lol. That surprised me. Were you about to send something, lol? And what's wrong? Trapped, Kurose thinks, why now? At this point, there's no turning back. He takes a deep breath and types, this Sunday, are you free by any chance? The moment he sends it, he throws his phone and shouts, I said it! He quickly picks it back up and continues the conversation. Kurose-kun, what are you planning? Asking a girl about her schedule. Kurose frantically replies, no, nothing wrong. He asks, senpai, are you fine with horror movies? She replies with, why? And, He explains, the one playing now, I have an extra ticket. And, that. As Kurose nervously waits for a reply, a message from Haimiya finally appears on his screen. Sure, I'm free. Let's go. Kurose is overjoyed, his eyes wide with disbelief. He quickly covers his mouth, blushing as he types back, thanks for inviting me. And, thank you, I'll contact you again later. He is so happy that he shouts out loud to his sister, for real, Nei-chan, thank you. Meanwhile, in her own room, Haimiya is lying on her bed, surrounded by cute bunny plush toys. She stares at her phone, her face completely flushed. She lets out a flustered sigh.
and thinks to herself, no way. Clearly just as nervous and excited about the date as he is. Later that same night, Kurose finds his sisters, Sora and Umi, relaxing in the living room. Ni-chan, he calls out to them, it's about the clothes for Sunday. I want you to help me pick something out. His sisters are instantly shocked and intrigued. Umi realizes what's happening and says, it's a girl. Sora joins in. They both get incredibly excited. Sora exclaims, you're going out with a girl. And my ticket wasn't wasted after all. Kurose tries to calm them down, saying, it's not like that. Umi chimes in, you've got a great sister. I'll help you out. But Sora continues to tease him. At least take a condom with you, she says with a grin. Kurose gets angry and embarrassed, shouting, hey, you're really the worst. Sora just laughs and says, be serious about this. Leave it to me. Sora then gets down to business. More importantly, what kind of clothes were you planning to wear? She asks. Kurose hesitates. Don't make fun of me if I tell you. When he reveals his choice of outfit, both of his sisters are horrified by his lack of fashion sense. Sora sighs and says, you asked us for help. That's really admirable. Sora, a beauty school student, tells him, we managed to pick something out, huh? Simple is best after all. Also, I'll cut and style your hair for you, and I have to teach you how to set it too. Kurose gratefully replies, thanks, really. Sora then holds his face gently and gives him some sincere advice. You have a cute face like me, so go with confidence. And one more thing. She explains, when a girl goes out to meet that person, she puts effort into her appearance, prepares various things, and uses a lot of time to come see you. So I don't know how you feel about that girl, but if you think she's cute, don't be embarrassed, tell her. Well, I don't think you're capable of saying something like that, though. Kurose agrees with a sigh. Yes, that's right. I'm going to bed now. Thanks for everything, Ni-chan. He thinks to himself, feeling the pressure. Somehow I'm getting more and more nervous.